this is Karen.
Hey everybody, I am Shane.
Today we have our lesson on clothes test and it's called
Why so many Egyptian statues have broken noses?
Interesting. And the vocabulary words are period.
Period.
The Stone Age was a time period that lasted for around 3.4 million years.
That's a long time.
I know.
Image. Early humans drew images on cave walls.
Erase.
Erase.
Jane could not erase the terrible event from her memory.
Breathe.
Breathe.
Tim took off his mask because he couldn't breathe.
So we're talking about really interesting questions that I haven't really, thought about. Why the Egyptian statues have broken noses?
Yeah, now that I think about it, it does seem that a lot of them do have their noses broken off, but I never really thought too much about it.
Do you know why now?
Well, now I know why.
Why is that?
I guess to the ancient Egyptians.
Yes.
If you made a statue of a human,
Yes.
the nose actually had very special power. So if you broke off the nose, it's almost like you killed the spirit, the statue spirit.
Like the statue spirit won't be able to breathe anymore.
Exactly, so it would die.
That's right.
So if you were an enemy, and you, I guess, invaded or attacked somebody, and then you found their statues, you'd want to break the noses off their statues.
So their spirits will not come back and haunt you.
Right. So you would be safe.
That's really interesting.
It is quite interesting.
So that's why Egyptian statues, that's probably why Egyptian statues have broken noses.
That's the theory. Okay, cool. Let's learn more about these Egyptian statues.
All right, enjoy.
Enjoy.
Why so many Egyptian statues have broken noses? Why are the Egyptian statues' noses broken? This is a question people often ask Edward Bleiberg, a curator at the Brooklyn Museum, and he has a theory that is based on flat reliefs from the same period.
Hi, I'm Jeff.
Hi, I'm Hanny.
Welcome to this month's clothes test. Today, we're going to read about old statues from Egypt. Me, I am a fan of ancient Egypt. Pharaohs, the Nile River, the pyramids, the Great Sphinx, Cleopatra. The list goes on and on. Yes, there are so many cool and interesting things having to do with ancient Egypt.
Right. 说到古埃及，同学们会想到什么 ？Pharaoh 法老王就是古埃及的国王。The Nile River 尼罗河 ，Pyramid 金字塔 ，The Sphinx 人面狮身像，还是 Cleopatra 埃及艳后呢？好，那么古埃及文明非常有趣，我们一堂课是讲不完的。那今天是要来探讨为什么古埃及雕像的鼻子会受伤。那这边补充一下 ，Egyptian 这个字可以形容埃及的，也可以当名词来指埃及人。那补充一下文明，我们刚刚说古埃及文明，那么文明的英文是 civilization 或者是 civilization。Okay, there's no way that we could ever cover ancient Egypt in one lesson. There's just too much to discuss. So we're going to focus on a specific topic. Egyptian statues with broken noses.
Indeed. The title of this month's clothes test article is Why So Many Egyptian Statues Have Broken Noses. Okay, everyone, let's get started. The first sentence of today's lesson is a question. It asks, why are the Egyptian statues' noses broken?
Well, that is the question, everyone. So, Jeff, would you be surprised to learn that this is a commonly asked question?
Not really. Now, I have noticed that many old statues, usually ones made of stone, I've noticed that they have broken noses. My question, though, is this. Are these noseless statues from ancient Egypt different from noseless statues from, I don't know, ancient Rome or ancient Greece, maybe? Are there more of them, by proportion for some special reason?
Well, we will answer that question in due time. For now, let's move on. Apparently, people often wonder why ancient Egyptian statues have broken noses. Hey, why do these statues have broken noses?
Right. Why are there all these broken noses, these noseless statues? Why? Well, this is a question people often ask Edward Bleiberg, a curator at the Brooklyn Museum, and he has a theory that flat reliefs from the same period. Your options are A, is relied on, B, is based on, C, is kept off, or D, dates back to.
好，题目的意思是，这是人们经常问布鲁克林博物馆馆长爱德华·布莱伯格的一个问题。他有一个看法是，空格同时期的平面浮雕的作品而来。那么剧中的 curator 就是指馆长、负责人，那这个馆长通常是指博物馆或是动物园的馆长哦。那么 flat relief 它是指平面浮雕。好，这题是在考我们片语动词。选项 A is relied on 是被动用法，那么 rely on 就表示依靠、依赖或是取决于。B is based on 也是被动用法。那么 based on 就是指根据什么，以什么为基础。C is kept off 它也是被动用法。那么 keep off 可以指避开、远离什么什么。D dates back to 它是指确定什么什么的日期，那么之后接过去的年代或是事件，可以表达说追溯什么什么。好，那么从课文句子的语义来看，它应该是要说那一名这个博物馆馆长的看法是根据什么而来的。那最适合的片语动词是 based on， 其他三个选项语义都不符合，所以答案要选 B is based on. So the sentence should read,
This is a question people often ask Edward Bleiberg, a curator at the Brooklyn Museum, and he has a theory that is based on flat reliefs from the same period. Oh, by the way, period is the first vocabulary word of the day. Here, a period is like an era in time. A period simply is a length or an amount of time. For example, the Stone Age was a time period that lasted for around 3.4 million years.
Sounds good to me. Okay, everyone, with that, it is time to take our first break of the day.
Yes, it is, but don't go away, folks. We'll be back soon.
Why so many Egyptian statues have broken noses? As time passes, it seems natural that the noses on old sculptures could easily break. However, ancient flat reliefs have broken noses too. These objects were usually made of very hard stone, which makes them less likely to be damaged by accident. It is possible, then, that the noses were broken on purpose.
Welcome back to this month's close test. We are still discussing statues and ancient Egypt.
That's right. Earlier, Jeff made a good point about ancient statues. He said that many old statues have broken noses. Then he asked the following question: are statues with broken noses from ancient Egypt unique compared to those from other ancient civilizations? Well, it is time to start answering this question.
It is not surprising to me that very old statues have broken noses. As time passes, it seems natural that the noses on old sculptures could easily break.
That's true. However, ancient flat reliefs have broken noses too. That is, the noses on these relief sculptures are broken off too, even though these noses weren't sticking out.
Yeah, maybe they get knocked off for another reason and not because they're kind of sticking out. I wonder why that is. That's an interesting point. And there's more. These objects were usually made of very hard stone, which makes them less likely to be damaged Your options are A, in return, B, at one time, C, by accident, or D, by no means.
好，题目的意思是，这些东西通常是由非常坚硬的石头制成，这使它们不太可能空格受损。那这题是来考我们副词片语。先来看选项 A，in return， 它是指作为回报。B, at one time 是指曾经一度。C, by accident 表示意外地、不小心或是偶然地。D, by no means 它是指一点都不或是绝不怎么样。那么根据课文，它应该是要表达古老的平面浮雕是用非常坚硬的石头做成，不太可能会不小心受损。所以我们最适合答案要选 C, by accident 就是意外不小心的意思。So the sentence should read,
These objects were usually made of very hard stone, which makes them less likely to be damaged by accident. Okay, to recap, my idea was that old statues get broken over time. Noses and also fingers and other small, delicate things that can stick out, well, they can get broken off over time by accident. It happens. And this is true. But does this idea explain everything? No. In ancient Egypt, something else is going on or was going on.
Oh, right. Noses that shouldn't be broken for your reasons are broken. Why? If they are not broken off because they were sticking out, and if they were not broken by accident, why are we still finding broken noses?
It is possible then that the noses were broken on purpose. I mean, what other explanation could there be? I say we read on. I am now interested to hear Edward Bleiberg's theory on this.
Me too. First, though, we need to take another break. Don't go away, though. We'll be back with the final portion of this month's closed test and Edward Bleiberg's theory after this.
Yay.
Why so many Egyptian statues have broken noses? To the ancient Egyptians, images of the human form held important powers. Damaging a statue could get rid of its power. Therefore, pharaohs who wanted to erase their enemies from history were likely behind these acts of vandalism. The belief was that a damaged nose would no longer be able to do its job. The statue's spirit would then stop breathing and die. As Bleiberg puts it, the easiest way to kill the spirit inside was to remove the nose.
Welcome back. This month's closed test is about Egyptian statues. Hanny,
Yes?
why do so many Egyptian statues have broken noses? Hanny, that's the question. Let's start answering this question right now. First of all, we should all know that to the ancient Egyptians, images of the human form held important powers.
Ooh, how interesting. Also, with that, we've come to the second vocabulary word of the day, image. An image is something that you can see. Often, images depict things or are pieces of art like photographs, drawings, statues, relief sculptures, etc. If you can see it with your eyes, and especially if it resembles something, it is probably an image. For example, early humans drew images on cave walls.
You know what? I think I'm beginning to understand. To ancient Egyptians, images were powerful. To them, damaging a statue could get rid of its power.
Wow, how interesting.
I totally agree. And there's even more. The next sentence says, pharaohs who wanted to erase their enemies from history were likely behind these acts of vandalism. Your options are A, instead, B, therefore, C, otherwise, or D, additionally.
好，题目的意思是 空格想将敌人从历史上除去的法老王，很可能是这些破坏行为的幕后黑手。那么句子里面的名词 vandalism 就是指这种蓄意破坏公物的行为。好，这题是在考我们副词。先来看选项 A，instead 它表示相反地、反而或是作为替代。B therefore 它是指因此所以。C otherwise 它表示否则不然。D additionally 表示此外。那么课文前面有提到说，对古埃及人来说，人形的形象有重要的力量。那么把雕像毁损就可以除去它的力量。所以呢，我们就有了题目空格后面的推论啦。他就说很有可能是法老王破坏的，他们想要把敌人的力量除掉。我们看到空格前后的句子，它是带有因果关系的，所以最适合答案要选 B therefore， 它有因此所以的意思。So the sentence should read,
Therefore, pharaohs who wanted to erase their enemies from history were likely behind these acts of vandalism. So, it was the pharaohs who did it. Amazing. Oh, before I forget, the third vocabulary word of the day is erase. To erase something is to remove that thing, often by rubbing it out. In this situation, if you erase somebody, you do something to make it seem as though they never existed. Ooh. For example, Jane could not erase the terrible event from her memory. She wanted to forget, but she couldn't.
Oh, too bad. Breaking the noses on statues was a way of erasing enemies there in ancient Egypt. I am beginning to understand this, but how did this work exactly? Well, the belief was that a damaged nose would no longer be able to do its job.
And if the nose couldn't work, the statue spirit would then stop breathing and die. That does make some sense, I guess. Unless the statue spirit could breathe from its mouth. Anyway, yeah. Anyways, it is now time to cover the final vocabulary word of the day, breathe. Yeah, when you breathe, you inhale and exhale air. When you breathe in or inhale, you take air into your lungs in order to get oxygen and stay alive. Then when you breathe out or exhale, you exhale that air with some CO2 in it. For example, Tim took off his mask because he couldn't breathe.
好，我们刚刚看到 breathe 这个单词就是呼吸的意思。那顺便补充一下，吸气、吐气的英文。那么 inhale, I-N-H-A-L-E 就是吸气 inhale。那么 exhale, E-X-H-A-L-E 就是吐气的意思。Okay, everyone, it is now time to hear from Edward Bleiberg. We've been discussing his theory of why so many Egyptian statues have broken noses.
Right. Bleiberg puts it, the easiest way to kill the spirit inside was to remove the nose. Your options are A as, B once, C whereas, or D as long as.
好，题目的意思是空格布莱伯格所说，杀死雕像内的灵魂最简单的方法就是除去鼻子。那这题是来考我们连接词，先来看选项 A as， 它是指正如什么什么。B once， 它是指一旦一怎么样就怎么样。C whereas， 它表示然而但是。D as long as， 它是指只要。好，课文句子里面的 put 是当动词有说、陈述、表达的意思。我们常常用 as somebody puts it 来表达正如某人所说，所以最适合的连接词是要用 as， 其他三个选项语义都不符合，所以这题的答案要选 A as。So the sentence should read,
As Bleiberg puts it, the easiest way to kill the spirit inside was to remove the nose.
And there you have it. Okay, everyone, this month's close test is now officially complete.
Correct, but don't go away. More fun is coming up soon.
各位同学，大家好，我是季安老师。我们今天带大家看应答问题 （questions and response）。Right， 这个呢算没有放在那前5大的这个解题技巧，因为其实前5大就很好用了。但是第6个呢，我觉得这是很基本的，就是你要干嘛？第一个字一定要听到啊，第一个字是最重要的。OK，Could you pick up the dry cleaning for me? Can you contact the sales department? What type of printer is Jack using? 你要先听到第一个字音，才会知道说他到底在问什么。Alright， 所以 what type, where is, when did, why is 这些第一个字拜托一定要听到。那也要知道一下，就是说他在回答的时候，通常会有几大类型的这种回答。第一个呢，简答。这个还蛮常出现的，因为你就会发现说，这个问句噼里啪啦一大堆，结果呢，它的回答选项非常的简洁。OK，How are we going to New York this time? Okay, by plane. About an hour ago. Yes, by email in my office. 超短的这种简答。OK， 所以 in my office 它问的是什么？地点嘛。那这边 yes by email 这问的是方法咯 ，how 嘛，对不对？那 about an hour ago 它问的是什么？是疑问词是 when， 对不对？什么时候嘛？那第一个 by plane 这个就是问交通工具嘛。How do we get to New York? OK，How do we go to Bali? 等等的 by plane。简短回答，那就有完整句的回答啊。It may be too late to cancel the order. Sure, I can pick you up tomorrow. 这个就是完整句的回答了。那其他2种呢，就是这个我们刚刚讲到的，对不对？之前有讲过的，尚未确认或我不知道，这个很常是答案啊。你如果听到这个人不大确定的模糊回答，很常是答案。They haven't decided, they haven't announced it yet. Let me think about it, and then I'll get back to you. 像这一种不确定、不知道的。再来，我们看到第4种回答的类型反问型，也就是说，人家问你说，比如说。What time is the movie going to start? 电影什么时候要开始？结果你不知道，你没有跟他说 I don't know， 你就跟他说 Why don't you ask Jay？ 你问其他人好不好 ？OK， 用问句去回答问句，这一种也是很常出现的这个正确答案哦。OK， 好，所以呢，知道了之后，我们来看一下一个例题看看有没有我们刚刚讲到的这种最常见的这种回答类型哦。
I can't imagine being as wealthy as she is.
A. She is in pretty bad shape. B. I wouldn't want to be either. C. She is rich, isn't she?
OK， 再一次哦。
I can't imagine being as wealthy as she is.
A. She is in pretty bad shape. B. I wouldn't want to be either. C. She is rich, isn't she?
这一题呢，答案是哪一个？用问句回答 ，She's rich, isn't she? I can't imagine being as wealthy as she is. 我没有办法想象跟她一样的有钱呐。哎呀 ，She's rich, isn't she? 她真的很有钱，是不是 ？OK， 所以呢，他用问句去回答他讲的这一句话。那这个就是我们之前有提过的所谓的 statement， 就是直述句。他就直接讲了 ，I can't imagine being as wealthy as she is. 他没有要问问题，他只是讲一句话而已他只是想说话没有办法想象这么有钱呢，这样，那你就用一个问题去回答，这样也是 OK 的。She's rich, isn't she? OK， 好，以上是我们今天的课程内容，我们下堂课见，拜拜。
See you next time.